Don't forget to like and subscribe.
What's good, Nomad Pack, internet peoples, gamers, degens, etc., fellow pagans? How we doing today? Good afternoon, Major Nomad here, and today we are going to be reacting. It's just gone up, and instead of just clips like I did my last stream, I thought I would fully react to the Alex Jones and Sneako debate, and you already seen the clips and the fiasco with that, but I want to watch the full whole debate and see what is going on there. Now, there were some funny clips from it, like I said in my last Kick stream. We reacted to that, so I figured, why not make a whole video on it and see what you guys think. For those who haven't seen it, do you agree, disagree, etc.? I don't know. I'm more pro Alex Jones than I am Sneako. I'm not much a fan, especially him going down this whole Muslim-Islam grift, like being more fanatical about it. Not to say he's got some good points. Like I said, I don't have none really against him, even though I disagree with a fair amount of his takes. But I digress. There's a lot of gems that can be in these debates, I think. And it's good to react to them and see what it's about. It's fun regardless. Fun to see, react, and laugh too if there's some funny bits as well. Good for content. So let's check it out. You already know if you like my content and like me, my reactions, unpackings, etc. You already know to like and subscribe. Love it. Love this wonderful community we have built so far. Road to 2,000 and up on the subscriber list. Let's break that shit. Conquer that goal for the next goal. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's dive in, Nomads. Let's get into it.
Alex Jones, it's good to finally meet you. I've been...
Keynote. I watched him in my younger, when I was growing up in that. Like, big shout out whether you love him or hate him. He has his good points even if you disagree or not like him, because he was one of the people that helped expose a lot of shit. I'm going to be honest. He exposed a lot of shit. Of course, he had his not so good moments, like people debate and argue about the Sandy Hook thing, and that's understandable. It's a little fucked whatever way you see it either way, because people get away on the other side of politics with a lot of shit is all I'm saying. Not to say he's justified or so. I'm just saying that we got to be more fair here, whether you dislike Alex Jones because of that. But I love when he was on the streets doing liberal debates when, like, Donald Trump was in office and all the libtards and the woke people got really freaking going wild and crazy on the streets when Trump was first running in his 2016 era, and people were crashing out because of that. It was hilarious. And him, like, he helped this one couple, if you've seen it, who got attacked, and he got the police on them, but probably none much came of that. You already know the left side is very okay with violence against people they don't directly like, who have opposing opinions. Anyway, not to turn this into a big political debate here. This is what we're here to watch, not debate about that. I found his content, though, from my based uncle who showed me his content. Like, if I get a lot of my takes, people would think it would probably be from Red Pill content, like Fresh and Fit, whatever, Rollo Tomasi, all that good stuff. But a lot of my based thoughts on that came from hanging out with my uncle too much. I'm going to be honest, on my father's side. Anywho, I digress. Let's dive into this and unpack this.
Watching your work.
But I fucks with Alex Jones. I like the content. Even today, I'm glad he was able to get back on his feet after the whole InfoWars thing when he had to give it up for the Onion. And now, FY, he streams on Kick, and I follow him on there. I will definitely leave a link there. So check out his Kick, but as well as my Kick when I'm live as well. Okay, enough promoting. Let's get into it.
You've been watching your podcast appearances on Joe Rogan, and now you want me deported from my country. So let's start with that. You challenged me to a debate. I think it's important to start with some of the claims you made. Is the audio okay in here, guys? Can you guys hear?
I hear you loud and clear, Sneako.
And there's no echo. Okay, so you want me deported from America for exercising my First Amendment rights. You're making the face, a shock face. This is what you said. You said, deport now, and then Elon Musk, the trillionaire African migrant, into America, who's bringing in tons of H-1B visas. He said, yes, he wants me deported as well.
Well, to be clear, I wasn't making a shocked face. I was enjoying my iced tea right here in Texas. So I was gulping it down. No, I did say that, and you know, Elon agreed with me on that viral post of your viral post. And you know, here's where I stand on that. Obviously, I was saying that more rhetorically because we have separation of church and state in the United States.
I'm enjoying my pineapple juice right now because it is hot and humid as fuck today. I'm just throwing that out there. Like, I understand what he's saying there.
I'll do 3 minutes.
Texas is probably hotter as hell, but over here, man, it's still hot and humid. I wish we had a lake or, well, we do have Lake Michigan, but the air blows weirdly through this part of the town versus or city that close to Chicago. I want to live near a beachfront coast and get that wonderful cool breeze passing through my skin and whatnot and my body, so I'm not as hot and humid. This is what sucks about being landlocked. I don't want to be landlocked anymore. Okay, enough of my rant.
We're debating.
No, sure, I want to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. I mean, here's the deal. Orthodox Islam is expansionist. Orthodox Islam in the Quran promises to take over the world, and we have separation of church and state in this country, and we have people saying every household will be under this. That's not the same as the New Testament saying every knee will bow to God when they finally see God. Okay, so my issue is you're jumping around all crazed doing throat slitting motions, saying F you, basically, I take it as America, and saying you
That's
will
true,
go
he
under
did
this.
do
We're
that.
gonna take your cities. We're going to dominate.
I know he's trying to probably be funny or so, or who knows, but that didn't make you look too good, Sneako. I'm going to be honest there. That didn't really make you look good when you did that, and already people are getting tired of your shit as it is.
You. And I've seen thousands of imams say all this, and if you don't convert, we're allowed to take your women and use them as sex slaves and all the rest of it. It pisses me off when somebody says, I'm going to plant my flag up your ass and we're going to dominate you, and then there you are, an American with an American accent, saying that. It's even more horrifying to people, and it basically starts a war. So I'd love to see a reformation in Islam like we had in Christianity, back when some of the Catholics were trying to force people, to follow what they said, or they would burn them at the stake. Okay, so Islam needs a reformation. I don't want to be at war with Islam, but there are 50-plus Islamic countries. Most of them are 99% Muslim. There's only a few Muslim countries where Christians can live in peace. Islam is expansionist. That's why I'm against Israel. It's expansionist. It is elitist. It says greater Israel. It sees everybody else as subhuman, at least Ben Gvir in the leadership of Israel. And so I am opposed to Israel and its expansionist supremacist activities. I'm against Islam's expansionist supremacist activities. And I am against the Chi-Com expansionist activities. I'm against the left's pedophilic Hollywood expansionist dominance, imperial operations. I don't want America to be imperial.
Hollywood is weird as fuck with a lot of things, though, so I completely get where he's coming from there. Hollywood's been making a lot of stupid moves, too.
Put the communists back in, so I'm against all of that. I'm against imperialism, not from some leftist angle, but from George Washington's angle of not being involved in foreign entanglements. So that's where I stand on all this. And when somebody declares we're coming for you and we're going to dominate you, I said to Piers Morgan back in 2013, it became a national story, whenever he said we're going to take your guns. And I said, if you do, 1776 will commence again. So anybody trying to take...
Big facts, I agree with that. I saw that debate too, like just recent in one of the clips the other day. I was thinking about putting it on my last stream, but I guess I did, and it didn't come to mind. But I saw that debate with Pierce and that. I hate when freaking English people from England and whatever other country, when their country isn't so much better, because look at the whole knife attacks going on, and a lot of these illegal immigrants getting their hands on weapons and that when they're technically illegal, and it's goofy. But when a person who was born and raised there gets one and tries to defend himself, it's like a whole problem. Or they need to... It's weird. Even when there's chefs and a kitchen knife, I'm pretty sure you gotta fucking jump through hoops or you get in more trouble if you use that kitchen knife for self-defense. If you buy it at a store and you're a chef, you actually work as a chef, they still try to hesitate with that shit. if I'm not mistaken. And if you have to use it for self-defense when you test it at work or so, then you get in big trouble, and then they protect the criminal. Like, your country is kind of fucked as it is, so we ain't trying to hear it from you. At least over here, when a crazy person illegally ends up having a weapon, someone who's a wonderful vigilante can take their one that they bought legally and lawfully and can use it against them for self-defense and protect people from a brain-damaged person, is how I would see it. So I completely agree with Alex on that one. Yeah, America, we love our guns here, like it or not. If you don't like it, get the fuck out. No one's holding you against their will here. You got Canada, you got UK, you got Ireland, you got all these other countries. See how you like it there. There's only one country that somehow is able to do it right. But except they have a law and they make sure there's no bias there. Unless you, of course, if you're a foreigner and you weren't born and raised there, they'll throw the book at you. But at least with their criminal law there, if you do something illegal, then their criminal thing is F around and find out. Then they throw the book at you. But over here, it's very subjective depending on the state, especially when it comes to liberal, socialist, commie-crats. They want to just open up the jails and say, oh no, there's no criminals in jail and stuff like that. Open borders and defund and completely get rid of police. They just want anarchy, the freaking psychos. Which is why I gotta make sure that those goofy goofs can't have any power. I digress.
My guns, anybody saying I'm going to convert to Islam in all your homes, anybody telling me that they're going to stick their flag up my ass, I'm going to tell them, if you want to fight, you better believe you got one. Go ahead.
All right, you said a lot. I mean, what flag? The difference between Israel as an expansionist state is that that's a actual country. I have allegiance to America. This is my country. Said many things, and let's stick to this original claim. You said deport now. Where am I going to go if I be deported?
Well, I mean, there's 50 plus Muslim countries. You could go to Iran, you go to Sudan, you could go to Egypt, you could go to Afghanistan, you could go to any of those shitholes. You could go to Pakistan, you know, where they're marrying 9-year-olds. You could,
There's child marriage here in America, but how would I be deported to a country that I don't?
You could go to Medina. You go to Medina, and 30 black men.
Right, but that's
could,
not deportation. That's immigration, like Elon Musk coming over here. How would I be deported to a country that I'm not from? I was born here in New York City.
Yeah, I mean, Sneako, my point was rhetorical, saying that we need to deport that ideology and we need to not submit to it.
You don't deport me, you want to deport Islam.
What I'm saying is that jihad and dominance of our culture needs to be opposed at every level. I obviously didn't mean literally put you in a cannon like a clown and shoot you, over to a Muslim country. And I said,
I can just picture that right now. I don't know why, but I can picture some funny thing. He's in his clown outfit, and Alex Jones is one of the circus acts. And he's like, oh, hey, I'm going to deport this Muslim in this cannon. Of course, Alex Jones is not a hillbilly, even though people argue that stupid argument. But it's funny. I could just picture just this funny thing, and then, where you pull the thing and the cannon goes off instead of lit up. Oh, man, that would be hilarious. And then kind of like that Dora Donald Trump meme where he deports Dora. That shit. It's just funny. You go, I'm gonna make sure I deport him, shoot him through this cannon. Okay. All jokes aside.
You also said that I was trying to get vigilantes to kill you. I said my snake or Black Widow analogy was not talking about violence, but why I have a phobia of pouring gasoline on myself and lighting myself on fire, or jumping off a 5,000-foot cliff, or playing with black widows in my hand, or playing with rattlesnakes. You have those phobias because it's a natural thing of something your brain recognizes.
So I scare you?
I get that. I don't like spiders. I rather deal with snakes over spiders. Snakes don't bother me as much. I fucking hate spiders, though. Burn those things.
You're scared of me?
I am absolutely scared of giant hordes of third world populations that keep women as slaves and
you said
9-year-olds
you said you
pregnant.
want to deport him now. You're scared of me individually?
I am scared of being a cuck and laying down to people that declare their superiority and their supremacy over me. And you are following Orthodox Islam, and are openly announcing, we will dominate you, we will control
didn't say
you.
that.
So you follow the Quran? You believe?
Well,
I should either have
let's
to pay
talk
the
about
tax,
the clip I said.
Pay the Jesus, pay the
Let's
tax.
be specific about
or
what
have
I
my head
said.
chopped off. Which way is it? Is it in the Quran? I pay the tax, I convert to Islam, or my head's chopped off. Which one is
It
it?
doesn't say that. It doesn't say it. You said you read the Quran twice. It doesn't say that
I can
anywhere.
show you 1,000 imams reading the hadiths of the Quran. No, there's 3 things.
Hadiths are not in the Quran. You clearly haven't read it if you think hadiths are in the Quran. So because you don't know about Islam, let's talk about
Muslim scholars. You're saying Islam doesn't say you convert or you pay the tax or your head gets cut off.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So let's talk about what I said because you don't know about Islam.
Hey, everybody, take clips of this and then show 50
Sure, go
imams
ahead.
saying it, and then show the hadiths and then show the Quran.
Alex, maybe you've seen a lot of Facebook posts and it seems like you're getting a lot of boomer propaganda. Let's be specific about what did I say? Because you just made up a bunch of things I didn't say. You said I'm coming to stick a flag up your butt. I'm here to dominate. I didn't say any of that. What did I say?
You said we're going to take over every house.
I didn't say that.
Take
That's
over
not
the
true.
cities.
I said, in Christian language, something similar. I don't know what type of Christianity you are. Every knee will bow, every tongue confess. I said, inshallah, the whole world becomes Muslim. I believe I have the truth. I want goodness for the world. I want you to have the truth. Christians want other people to become Christian too. Why should I hide? Why should I act like I don't want goodness for other people? Of course, inshallah, do you know what this means? If you know, you read the Quran. What is inshallah? God willing. So it's not up to me. It's not up to any force. It's not up to anybody forcing you and converting you with the sword. And
well, when we look at England, Ireland, and all that stuff, especially Ireland fighting back against illegal migrant Muslims or people that happen to be of the Muslim religion, Arabic, and some of the Africans, like that Sudan guy, it kind of doesn't really help your case. I'm going to be honest with you, especially when you kind of escalate in America doing that shit, the neck slit, and, you know, getting with your eyes wide open and stuff. You're smart enough to know it's optics. That optically doesn't look good, and it doesn't help your case right there. I'm going to be honest. Let's react to that clip real quick. Here's the clip that I believe Alex Jones and Sneako are referring to. I saw this too, and I'm like, yeah, this doesn't kind of help your case right here, buddy. This doesn't help that much, I'm going to be honest with you. It's making your community not look too good right now. Like, not watching the first beginning.
This is the Islamic Republic of New Yorkistan. Islam will be in every household. Inshallah, the whole world is Muslim. Welcome to Mamdani's New York. You see this city? You see how it looks? Inshallah, your city looks just like this too.
I know the sports and stuff was going on, like with the Olympics and the soccer games, but right there, I get being hyped. That doesn't help. And see, all in all, complete Mandami socialist supporter. He said he doesn't like communism and that, but socialist communism is of that part. And he is not fooling a lot of people there. Maybe fool his community, but they probably are about that anyway. I could see the whole grift argument, like he was red pill, he stopped that, fine, he wanted to be more traditional Islamist and that, but in the Abrahamic religions in general, especially Islam and Muslim, whatever you want to call it, they are traditional, conservative type, and that right there, my friend, promoting all of that, New York is a shithole to begin with, but when Mandami gets in office, everything goes down more to hell, because, you know, they have crazy ideas that doesn't work long-term and even short-term, especially the first couple months of them being implemented. My 2 cents, capitalism's way better. It has its shortcomings as well, but not as bad as socialist communism. No, sirree, no. But right there, as soon as he acted like that, yeah, that's bad optics, bro. Bad optics. Even Myron and Riyadh would tell you, aka Myron's brother, would tell you that's very bad optics. They tried to tell you, but you ain't listening. And I could see why Alex Jones would feel some type of way seeing that. And me and others would say, yeah, that definitely doesn't look good, dude. Doesn't look good. I mean, hey, you can like Mandami and whatnot, but he sure as hell ain't doing you a lot of favors. Among other people. They think they are, but no, where's the free transportation? Where's the free stuff he was supposed to give? He wanted people to try to donate money to him, and then people said, what the hell? No! It's ridiculous. Typical libtard. Even Myron said, yo, you gotta get out of New York, buddy. That liberalism is getting your mind and rotting it. It's kind of like people going to California to get up on social media, even if they're not trying to be an actor, musician. They go there, try to pump up their social media, which I don't know how. Yes, you can IRL stream around Hollywood, but that's all slop anyway. Who watches that? Either way, you wouldn't catch me doing that. I don't care how far it could so-called project my subscriptions or so. I'm good not stepping foot in Hollywood, California in general to boost my algorithm and channel. Nah, I'm okay. New York either. Nah, you could have fun there. I'm not about that. Fuck that state. Have fun. Okay, now that we know what the whole argument is now, back to the debate. So far, so good, though. I'm really liking it for what it's worth with these two. Except, Sneako, you need to really think before you speak and act, and usually you had some pretty decent takes, but this is one of the cases where your debate tactics and whatnot is not doing too well for you.
Threatening.
Oh, yeah, Islam never does that. Hey,
My
Muslims
2
always
cents.
bitch about the Crusades. Were the Crusades a response to 700 years of Muslim invasion? Did the Muslims take Spain and put over 2 million women into sex slavery?
Well, if you want to talk about Christian expansion, we can too. But in the Quran, it says that you don't force anybody to convert. People willingly accept Islam. Nobody.
I'll be fair there and say both sides are definitely in the wrong there. They both were freaking crazy and radical on the Christian and Muslim side. I know what he's referring to. Both sides did some messed up crazy shit, so they're not innocent angels, but don't try to pretend like Islam's a complete innocent angel back in those days, because they weren't. They had their little issues too.
Is trying to spread it by the sword. I want people to hear the truth and accept it. That's why I say,
Convert,
inshallah.
pay the tax, or have your head cut off. Convert, pay the tax, or
you're,
have your head cut off.
you don't know about Islam, so you might just, you should avoid this stuff, and let's talk about what I said.
You're just hoping people don't know. I do know. You didn't think I knew what inshallah meant. I know what all that means.
Yeah, but you said that I'm trying to force it and stick a flag up your butt. I didn't say any of this stuff.
Dude, you were going, fuck you to the camera. You were sitting there.
You want to know why I said this?
Whose throat you going to slit? You're like, fuck you, we're taking over.
I think that's of another clip, too.
Like with the Muslim invaders
We're taking over
on their Zodiac boats with Soros.
What's the Muslim population in America?
And then you got the, 200 to 1 Muslims raping and stabbing and murdering people all over Europe and running over people with cars.
200 to 1. Even according to Tommy Robinson on the Epstein list, the majority of pedophiles in the UK are white Christians. It's not even the Pakistani grooming gangs that
there
they're
are
pushing.
no doubt there are a bunch of pedophiles in the UK.
Yeah.
And there's no doubt that
according to Tommy Robinson, it's predominantly white people.
And pick the little girls up and put them in dog cages.
Okay, before we get all heated, let's talk about what I said. Okay, there's a lot of things, and you're spreading a lot of, it seems like you don't really know about Islam. What I said was God willing people...
Okay, see, that's a throwaway line. That's just saying, oh, looks like you don't know. You're like, what does inshallah mean? You sit there, and what we're going to do with this is, Sneako, is we're going to take what you said, we're going to show the Quran, we're going to show the Hadiths, we're going to show the Imams,
absolutely,
top ones
show the Quran and
International
Hadiths. Go ahead.
Islamic
yes.
TV,
read the Quran.
Saying
read the Quran.
You convert, you pay the tax, or we cut your head off.
Okay, sure. There's two things here. So you're afraid of an Islamic takeover of America, right? And you're saying the thing I said, F you. Do you know that I was banned?
Well, socialist Democrats would let that happen. That's why we can't let them have power of any religion or so. Religion's supposed to be free in this country. Now, UK, it's its own special little hellhole. Let's keep it a stack. It used to be strong and had power and was honorable and respectable. However, back in the day, even after the whole thing with 1776, it was better off in the earlier 2000s, 1900s, etc., but then went downhill when they adopted a bunch of socialist, communist garbage. Let's keep it a stack. And then Ireland soon followed, but luckily I give props to the people of Southern Ireland and Ireland in general. They've been fighting back against that slop, so W them. I digress.
from Australia. The game that I was at, you said this was an Allahu Akbar rally. This was a World Cup game. Egypt was playing Australia. Egypt beat Australia. I'm happy. Australia banned me. Do you want to know why, Alex? Similar things that happened to you. Attacks. Australia banned me. They said I was too anti-Semitic and I was too critical of Israel. They listed a bunch of reasons in an email saying that I criticize and that I'm anti-Semitic.
Oh, that was the whole thing. Like, I kept up with that real quick. Just another little quick tangent. For what it's worth, like I said, I'm neutral. I don't care too much about Sneako and his content, but they shouldn't have done that. But lo and behold, Australia doesn't have the freedom of speech, and they're not protected by a wonderful, great book called the Constitution. So, unfortunately, they get pulled some bullshit like that, irregardless. Like, they have their own little trouble with immigration and that. They're kind of a pussified country, even though there is some based Australians and whatnot who I'm friends with and feel bad for. I just wish I could rescue a fair amount of them, you know, like Donald Trump and his gold card thing, but maybe one day. And then maybe, who knows, I start, this whole thing blows up, and maybe I have my own little podcasting thing, and I could hire a fair amount of Australians, Irish, and UK people to come work for me, and we could have, like, a really dope podcast / news thing, kind of like Alex Jones's InfoWars, but a bit better. No offense to Alex Jones, but I have to one up and top that shit if I was to go both podcast and news, kind of like a hybrid between Alex Jones and Tim Pool. Shout out to them. Cool people. I digress. Who knows? It's all up to see how my career and my thing in entertainment, content creation, etc. goes. Right now, it's just an interesting, nice hobby for me.
And they revoked my visa. So when Egypt beat Australia, I'm like, no. It's too bad. Because the government applied pressure, the news was all upset, and I have a personal vendetta with that. That's what that was about. I wasn't here trying to threaten you. If you were scared, that wasn't my intention. I wasn't trying to scare you. Second, if you think there's an Islamic takeover of America, what is the majority of the immigration coming in? Because you spent your career talking about globalism. What's the percentage, and where is the majority of the immigration in America coming from? Do you know, Alex?
Coming from, let me tell you, it's coming from Latin America, and then it is coming from Asia, it's coming from Africa, it's coming from the Middle East, it's coming from India.
The majority is coming from India, from China, and from the southern Mexican border. India is predominantly Hindu, China is predominantly atheist, and Mexico predominantly Catholic. So if you're afraid of immigration and you want to protect your demographic, then the Catholic invasion coming in from Mexico, that should be your concern. Muslims make up 1.3% of the American population.
Here's the difference.
There's no takeover. Nobody's here trying to usher in Sharia law.
Convert to Catholicism. You know, India was 3 times the size it is 1,000 years ago, and it was Buddhist and Hindu. Now the biggest subgroup is and you've got Kashmir and all those areas, and Pakistan used to be India. The Muslims take over everywhere they end up. The Quran is a battle manual, how to take over towns, get violent, run everybody out, take over the next town. You denying that?
You're avoiding the real question. Is there a real threat of Islam?
So I'm going to ask you again. You didn't answer my question. I answered yours. Were the Crusades a response to 700 years of Muslim invasions of Europe?
It was conquest back and forth between different empires.
No, it wasn't conquest back and forth. The Eastern Empire of Rome, Constantinople, fell, 600 years ago or whatever. That was Muslim.
It's amazing how an empire like Rome, too, and that was one of my favorite empires who I admired and respected. It just goes to shows one crazy person. I keep forgetting the freaking guy's name, but the one who played the violin while Rome was burning on fire and stuff like that, the last leader, unlike Caesar and Augustus, the more base leaders that stabilized a lot of stuff. My favorite, Caesar and Augustus. I digress. That was a whole shit show back in those days. Luckily, we are a little more civilized and whatnot, but sometimes we can be a little too civilized in first world for our own good, and what I mean by that is when we crack down on stuff and we have to punish bad criminals and that, we gotta take some of the old stuff from the books, like when it comes to punishing bad criminals who are on the death penalty, kind of like Idaho or what New Orleans is doing with punishing sex offenders, etc. You know what I mean? I digress. But yeah, both sides are all guilty in that. I don't follow. I know of them. I've been around. I grew up on them apart from Islam because I never had a lot of growing up around a lot of Muslims, Arabic people, and whatnot. It was until way later when I was getting out of high school. I digress. Mostly it was just Christian, Catholics, and of course on my father's side and a bit on my mother's side, but of course on my grandmother's side, the pagan part, which I more or less was more reactive to, should I say, even though even as a kid I'm like, this stuff it seems kind of dumb to me. I don't like it. I don't have none against them, but I just don't like it. And being around my gypsy witch grandmother who did all that stuff and whatnot, but nothing too crazy. I'm just saying, that's why I'm more drawn to paganism, why I'm a based pagan, that's what I call it. Based, independent, nationalist, pagan.
With giant cannons that they bought from Eastern Europe.
This is a false equivalency. There's no caliphate right now. There's no Muslim. What Muslim empire is going to take over America? Where's the caliphate today? Where's the Ottomans? It doesn't exist. You're saying they're going to stick.
Let me explain
what
how this
flag
works.
are they going to stick up your butt?
My family background is Protestants. Okay.
Okay.
So on my mom's side of the family, the Greshams, who went back to England and then ventured the stock exchange, a bunch of other stuff, but they were Christians that came over here and they owned a bunch of stuff and were rich in New York. And they met with Andrew Jackson when he was president down at the Hermitage in Tennessee.
All right.
And he said, I want Western expansion, be after I'm out of office. And he said, I want you to, because you're volunteering, I want the Gresham family to sell your holdings, bring in, they accepted the plan that they came up with. My ancestors engineered the Texas Revolution. Took them 10 years. They came in with 2 ships at Galveston, had shootouts with the Jesuit priests. A bunch of people got killed. One of the ships got taken. The other ship got in. They went up the river to Washington on the Brazos, started bringing in Protestants out of Tennessee, Alabama, and Virginia. Took them 10 years to set up the operations. And then we basically started a fight with their dictator, Santa Anna, a decade later and launched the war. So that's what these Islamists are too, is they're coming in as the foot soldiers to prepare the way for the takeover, and the government of Islam is Sharia law.
The government
and
of
they're
Islam.
pushing their Sharia law.
Which government?
That is the governing system within the Shiites and particularly the Wahhabis. That is 80% of
Those
Islam.
are completely different. Wahhabis and Shias have nothing.
That's
in
what I
common.
just said. I just said.
The
Shiites are
government.
19%.
So you think Iran?
The Shiites are 19%.
You think Iran is trying to take over America?
The Wahhabist Sunnis are 79%, and then the rest 2% is Alawites and a few other groups. I know all that.
Okay, where is that happening? Where is that spreading in America?
I didn't know there were groups of Islam.
I think in here, this clip, it starts to get a little more heated. Either way. This is an interesting argument and debate so far.
What I'm saying
Let's
is,
keep playing.
in both major branches of Islam, but particularly in Wahhabist, it is the Sharia law down to the local imam that is the governing system of Islam.
Okay.
So is Iran.
But it was interesting. I didn't know Alex's background was that, growing up in his ancestry. It's interesting to say the least. I only know little tidbits about my background and that. I'm not going to get into that, but I need to research more of it.
It is the Islamic Republic.
What is
rulership is through Sharia.
What is Sharia law? What is Sharia? What does that mean?
Sharia law is the governing
system of
Islamic control.
And they even called them out themselves, like a lot of Muslim people in the Middle East have said, oh yeah, it's for sure. They were like, it's predominantly more or less Christian, and Sharia doesn't belong in America. Fair amount of them and their scholars and that even said that, and I definitely give props there because, yeah, you want to practice it in your country and that by all means, but it does not coexist with America because of freedom of religion, speech, and all of that stuff, and we cannot allow that. I will say that. We cannot allow Sharia. Not happening. Ain't nobody, whether it be a liberal communist, a goofy woke liberal, anybody else for that matter, will not mess with my beautiful book, the Constitution that our wonderful forefathers gave to us to make sure no bullshit happens.
What does Sharia mean?
The 3 forms of jihad.
What does Sharia mean?
Sharia is the Islamic law.
It means law. Sharia means law.
That's what I just said.
In Sharia law, if you're a Muslim and you
keep
live,
trying to act like I don't know about Islam. I know all
you
about
don't.
it.
You first off, let me explain.
I nailed every one of your little factoids.
No, you didn't, because Sharia means law. And
what I said it's the Islamic law. You just said, Sneako, when I said it's Islamic law, that I'm wrong. It's bullshit.
Okay, relax, Alex.
He's starting to get annoyed with him. I can't blame him.
Under Sharia law, Muslims are supposed to follow the law of the land. Nobody here is trying to change the Constitution.
Hey, they see right there, that's kind of bullshit. Yeah, they are. Even if not just them, people on the woke liberal side like Mandami, he would love to have his way, which is why someone like that can't be president, or even it's bad enough he's mayor, but definitely can't be governor, because if it's up to Bernie Sanders, Mandami, AOC, Elizabeth Warren, and shit like that, all those clowns cannot be in office. Even goofy rhinos too. Like, I don't know what the whole thing is with Mitch McConnell. I just real quick tangent. Mitch McConnell, I think, recently passed away. Like, I don't know if it's fully confirmed or whatnot. He's probably on life support if he's not, but he's definitely one of the old guard Republicans that's making that party look bad, and it was taking it down. I already said before, and I'll say it again, if it wasn't for Trump, a lot of experts said, and it was looking that way, the Republican Party was going to fully die out. And when MAGA's out, and even though MAGA's not being popular this season due to a lot of political stupidity and policies that Trump was doing lately, like this whole thing with Iran, amongst other things, a couple other things like drawing back from Minnesota and the ICE situation. I know that thing was hot. I'm not fully saying it was completely his fault or so. He should at least said, let's withdraw for maybe a couple weeks to a month, and then you guys go back out there, go at the illegal immigrants hard, like track them in that, but be a little more smart and stealthy about it, because you know these protesters are going to go nuts. Because, you know, it's one thing, other countries can do what they got to do against illegal immigration and whatnot, but when America does say, oh no, you know, all these excuses, and I'm sorry, but we need to crack down on illegal immigrants coming in here legally, especially when they're criminals and from mental hospitals they break out of and whatnot, or they're trying to be pushed away from their government, so that area is better. Let's keep it a stack that does happen, and we need to crack down on that, because they're trying to do slaps on the wrist for those freaking scumbags, and we cannot allow illegal immigrant criminals causing trouble, harming people, and giving them slaps on the wrist or not even deporting them. That was under the Biden administration among that, and we can't have that. I will say, with Obama deporting more people that so-called Trump did, which is true, Obama did better at handling immigration than Biden way ever fucking did. And Obama wasn't the best, but he was a bit better of a president than Biden was, that's for sure. I digress, though.
You are, because you think that I should be deported for exercising my First Amendment rights. We have freedom of religion here.
You are such a, either you're super ignorant.
We have freedom of speech. Under Sharia law, you obey the law.
I got thousands of top imams saying we will make you take Sharia law. I got them at the state houses in Congress.
Where?
Everywhere saying you're going to adopt Sharia law.
Where are you seeing in America? The imams are trying to spread Sharia law in America. Name one.
My God, they have.
Name one imam. Name one imam
on
who's trying to bring Sharia law in America. Where?
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Name
I'm
one.
live on your...
Tell me. You said you know 20,000.
Imams called for Sharia law in America.
You said you know 20,000. Can you tell me an imam who wants to bring Sharia law in America, please?
Durka Muhammad Jihad.
Okay, you just wanted to be stupid now because you don't have an answer.
No, I mean, my God, listen, we're going to take this.
that's you don't have an answer.
You do it for us. Take this clip and then show them. Don't go too much. You just have 15 imams say it.
You don't even know one. You don't even know one person that's trying to bring Sharia law here. Ron DeSantis parades around. Hey, we're banning Sharia law. Texas, we're banning Sharia law. Alex, why do you think they're doing this? Is it because there's an actual threat of an Islamic invasion, even though they're ushering in H-1B visas, even though Elon Musk, who's also calling for my deportation, is bringing in hundreds of thousands of Indians, even though he says that white men are dumb?
Hey, let me tell you a story.
No. Before you get on a story, this doesn't make sense, because you also...
Yeah, Islam's not expanding. You're right.
It's not expanding in America, and you have provided no evidence.
Yeah, there's nothing going on.
The reason that you're buying this propaganda is because they're pushing this to try to justify the war that you oppose. Are you not against the Iran war?
No, it's true. It's true. First thing you said that's true is the Zionists, Israel First, Likudnik, Ben-Gvir,
just say Jews, the Jewish supremacists.
No, that particular, that's the dominant group running it.
Jews.
And most of the billionaires, we're talking about, oh, God, I'm hiding for the Jews, covering up for them.
You said Chicom, so
Oh, I love how I oppose the EU tyranny. I oppose big tech tyranny. I oppose the Chi-Com tyranny.
No, you don't. You support it. Elon Musk is big tech, and he's there
Okay, so
calling
you're
for deportation just like you. You allied with Elon Musk. He is big tech.
I cover all of that. Now, the point is getting back to this because you don't want me to nail you down on this stuff.
No. I'm telling you that you are echoing the propaganda.
At least he's speaking out more about it than Sneako. Like, if that's the case, I don't see Sneako talking about the whole thing with the data centers and the frog cameras as of late compared to Alex Jones. Not for nothing. Unless Mandami wants him, then he's going to probably not say anything if Mandami wants it, because Sneako is a big-time fan of Mandami.
Of the people that you pretend to be against.
I know. I knew all you would do is claim I'm echoing Zionist propaganda. I'm going to explain something to you. I can be against a cobra. I don't want to be put in a cage with 10 cobras or 10 vipers. I don't want to be put in a cage with 10 water moccasins or rattlesnakes. So if Israel's a cobra and Islam is a viper, you're saying, oh, you're against a viper, so you're for the king cobra. And that is not. I am 100%. I did a 4-hour show today and spent 2 hours on Israel trying to take over our military and intelligence and being listed as the top national security
And
threat.
how do they
of the
brainwash
defense.
Americans to support their cause?
But let me you raise this claim. Let me finish. It's a false equivalency, apples and oranges, to say if I'm worried about expansionist Orthodox Islam, that then I'm covering Zionist propaganda. The Zionists have been successful with many boomers and people saying, you must support Israel and Christian Zionists support it.
How do they get support?
Or let me finish. Or you're for Islam. I am not one of those people. I am saying Islam is a threat to the West, and so is the greater Israel
You haven't had
project.
any substantial evidence to show that Islam is a threat in America. You said no. You said Durka. You don't even know who's trying to bring in Sharia law here. And again, you haven't even disagreed.
Okay. You want me to go to X or anywhere or Google?
Well, if
or
you
go
had
to
some
any-
actual stats, 1.3%
I could type in. Oh my God, 90% of the refugees, the invaders in Europe that are Muslim or military.
Okay, are we in Europe or America?
80+%
Are we
never
in
get a
Europe or
job and
America?
Stay on welfare.
First-
Oh my God, I could show 50 videos a day of Muslims stabbing, shooting, killing, stabbing babies. Are you running people over
Stabbing
with cars?
babies? Are you saying Ben Shapiro talking points? Okay, if you
Oh,
want.
one of the Muslims' favorite things is to find a baby carriage and stab them.
But here's the mistake you're making, is that people like Elon Musk support the wars that create the immigration. If you want to protect the demographic, then don't repeat their propaganda.
Oh, I did not support either one of the Iraq wars. I didn't support putting the head of Al-Qaeda in charge of Syria.
Yeah, me neither. I definitely got woken up and based when Alex Jones was exposing that, and when that was exposed on his earlier shows before he got off or kicked off by big social media sites, like when you had to go on his website around that time he exposed it, if I'm not fully mistaken. I digress.
Supported the Venezuela regime change, and now IDF soldiers are in Venezuela right now. You wanted Venezuela war. That was a big mistake.
You're not listening. That's not what I said. What I said was, in practice, under gunboat diplomacy, Barbary policies and precedent, and the Monroe Doctrine, because they're involved in our politics, they're in our hemisphere, and because they're a communist dictatorship, you could say that this would be a legitimate thing. But I don't trust that they won't put in the communist and have a dictatorship, which they put the vice president in, and now they want to do that in Cuba, arrest Raul Castro, but then put the communists back in. I don't believe the U.S. should do regime change and then not have free and fair elections, so I said I'm against it because they will
So you
do
oppose
that.
Venezuela regime change. Good. You did?
What I just said was, I said if they
Simple
had free and
question.
fair elections, but they won't, so then I said that I would not support it. Yes, that's
Well,
what
I'm
I said.
against it, and it was I was proven right. And there's now IDF soldiers there. They're taking over. $2 billion worth of oil was
Oh,
sent
that's
directly
like
to Israel.
IDF is training ICE. Where's the evidence of that? Now,
I didn't
the
even say- that's not what I said.
The IDF is in Argentina, and that's one of the biggest Jewish populations, and they are trying to take the property and the government over, and because I think they may sacrifice Israel to create World War II scenario victim
Okay,
playing
you're
again.
saying a lot of things. Let's get to the core issue, right? Okay, so you want to protect the demographics. You don't.
He brought up a fair amount of this stuff, and Alex is saying he opposes it, but lo and behold, he's not letting him get to the point that because it's not on his point, he wants to redirect it and interrupt. Not for nothing. Sneako, my dude. If you're going to talk against that and speak against that and try to get Alex on your side and sympathize, that's not the way to go about it. My dude, you got to work on your debate skills. I'm not a big master or pro debater by any means or so, but A little bit better than that. A little bit better than what you're doing, dude. Just saying.
You don't want an invasion. You don't want foreign influence, right? Our country is dominated by Jewish.
I'm a Christian American nationalist, and white people are demonized by the left, by the Red Green Alliance, by Israel and everybody, and I'm sick of it. White people are 7% of the world population. Anglo-Saxons are like 2%.
There's no point in just preaching.
I am sick of being run over.
Okay.
And everybody that's declared war on us, I'm saying, okay then.
You think I declared war on you?
And you want to declare
you think
war?
I declared war?
I don't care if you're Israel. I don't care if you're a Muslim. I don't care if you're a Chi-Com. I don't care who you are. Well, you want to fight? You fucking got one.
Okay, so your
fucking games are over.
You want a war? You want a crusade? Now
yeah, don't worry. You're gonna get one, pal.
You're gonna okay. Then well done. You just played into the hands of the Jewish supremacists
right.
controlling our.
This is reminding me of Popeye the Sailor Man a little bit, like one of my favorite cartoons growing up around hanging out with my grandparents as a kid. One of the cartoons I always seen was Looney Tunes, Popeye the Sailor Man, and a lot of those older cartoons there, and even some of the Disney stuff, even though my grandfather always liked, on my mother's side, Popeye the Sailor Man when he wasn't watching Westerns and Gunsmoke. Oh, man, good times.
No.
That's what Elon Musk wants you to do.
It's going to be cultural, so you can sit over there and fuck your daughters, and you can sit over there and marry fucking 7-year-olds, and you can sit over there and fuck little boys.
You're chipping out.
We want your shit out of here.
The predominant pedophile demographic in Europe, I told you, was white
bullshit.
guys. It's not.
500,000 girls groomed by the Islamics.
250,000 was the estimated number. You just doubled it, and that's completely conflated.
It's 500,000 now. They had it.
That might be jumping up because of them taking illegal immigrant migrants, like doing the open border shit, or just taking them in when they're not vetted properly to make sure they're all right in the head and they're gonna assimilate properly. Man, this has turned to a big fiasco. Like, I feel sorry for the people in England and whatnot dealing with it. At least we're not dealing with that kind of thing that bad, but we still have certain situations when some of them go mad out of nowhere. Besides the point, though, let's keep watching.
And here's the other thing.
500,000 estimated. You can look at the report.
We don't care if Starmer protected them. We know the British leadership are a bunch of pedophiles. I exposed that 30 years ago.
Okay. Do you want to? Okay, so let's get to the core of the issue. So you established that you're a Christian white nationalist. You want to protect your demographic, correct? Is that your main?
No, what I've established is I am a Christian populist nationalist.
You want to protect your demographic?
Those are my terms. Who will not allow all these tribal organized groups, organized Islam backed by 53 countries, Israel backed by most of the billionaires and their nuclear weapons and all of their lobbies, and then we're told as Christians, period, whether you're black or white, Hispanic, and as Americans or capitalists, and particularly as white, that we're the devil and we got to shine shoes and bow down to Black Lives Matter and Soros.
Are you doing a rant, or do you want to have a conversation?
I love this rant. He's got a point with this whole rant right there. I love rants like this. Preaching. This is like some good preaching I could get behind.
Do you want to
done.
Okay.
Done.
Cool.
And if you want a war, you got one.
Nobody wants a war. They want you to start a race war so that they can continue justifying their wars.
No, it's not going to be. It's going to be a cultural velvet revolution. The new renaissance, the new crusade will be the energizing of Team Humanity, led by the central pillar of Earth, the West, the superior system that developed almost all the modern technology and systems that's been hijacked by scum.
Okay.
Good plan. Smart. I like that.
So you want to protect the West, right?
That's the way to do it. The pen could be mightier than the sword at some points.
Black Lives Matter. I've seen you running down.
That's true. He did. Not for nothing. And they caused a lot of issues in a lot of these states. But a lot of it was an excuse to cause damage and issues because they wanted to either get free shit or just have an excuse to destroy cities and cause problems, which that just hurts them more than anything. That's not going to help you get money and some jobs. That's going to make them run and go to other states and make those states more prosperity-wise.
I saw you
and prosper.
I was in Connecticut when you lied about Sandy Hook there, and then now you're getting sued for $1 billion for saying that it was crisis actors.
I didn't get sued. Judges found me civilly liable.
I saw you say there were crisis actors, and then you were completely...
That was definitely a commie crap talking point right there. Typical Sneako, he's letting that commie crap brain rot get in his head and go... Messing with his mentality there, dude. You gotta be careful. Because commie crats nowadays and liberal woke people are getting roasted and bullied a lot now online, and they're fucking crashing out, chimping out, whatever you want to call it, acting all freaking heated for not having good insults when they try to do ad homs when they can't debate properly. You see it in the debates, like Dean Withers crashing out. It is hilarious when he crashes out. That night of soy, the soy is coming out of his ears, kind of like how the steam jokes when the cartoon character gets mad. Dean Withers, the soy is coming out like, and all the rattles in his head, like when the angry steam comes out the ears. It's hilarious.
Guilty by judges with $1.5 billion judgment, and all of it's pure crap. And I'm still on the air at alexjoneslive.com.
Okay, so do you want to debate, or you just?
And there you go. I know you're from Connecticut, a rich boy. A Catholic.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I was born in...
There you. I know people that went to school with you. There you are. Okay. There you. Oh, you're not. You didn't live in Connecticut?
Yeah, no, I did. I was in Connecticut when I had to go home. I had to go home on Sandy Hook.
My son's co-host that knows you.
I was. I know your son, and he does a podcast with somebody.
No, his co-host knows you from Connecticut.
Relax. I know.